From April, we're going to see energy bills rise by a fifth. And this is because of the energy price guarantee. So this was something that was put in place in order to try and control bills when the energy price cap went completely bananas. And as a result, it means that we don't pay any more than the equivalent of £2,500. So that's the average user wouldn't spend any more than that at the moment. And what's going to happen in April is that will increase to £3,000. So it does mean that people's energy bills are going to go up by a fifth. And really at the moment, people are already really struggling. So the Office for National Statistics figures show that half of people are already finding it difficult to pay the bills, and about 1 in 20 are already behind on their bills. So there's a real risk that if you're sort of adding an extra fifth on top of people's bills, it's going to cause an awful lot of problems for people. Well, unfortunately, there's not an awful lot we can do. So people are really already cutting back massively. We know that people are using the heating less. We know that people are using cost-cutting measures whenever they can, that they've employed lots of energy efficiency measures, and still they are finding these bills incredibly difficult to cover. The only real positive is the fact that as we're coming into the spring, it will tend to mean that our usage will go down a bit anyway. So it won't mean any less on your direct debits, but it does mean that you will actually be sort of using less energy in the spring, because hopefully we'll get some decent weather and we won't have to worry about heating so much. So the wholesale price of gas is falling, and at the same time our bills are rising, which does feel very counterintuitive. But what's actually in play here is that we're not really paying the wholesale price of gas. We're actually really been protected from it for a long time by this energy price guarantee. So the guarantee at the moment means we don't pay more than £2,500. If we didn't have that, we'd be paying something over £4,000. Now the guarantee in April is going to mean that we pay £3,000, whereas if we hadn't had that guarantee, we'd be paying slightly over that. The point at which we get to a sort of a tipping point around about July, we're expecting, where the energy price cap is going to be lower than the guarantee, and we're expecting that at least. And so that does mean that energy prices and our actual bills should fall around in July. But of course, these things are incredibly difficult to predict, so you can't actually definitely say that life's going to get easier from July. One of the things that has happened is because the wholesale price of gas has come down, it does mean that the energy sort of support that the government's giving us has actually become cheaper for the government to offer. And there is some hope that that will mean that the government has some money to spend on more support. So we are expecting the budget in the next few weeks, and we are hoping there is something in there to support people, particularly those who are going to find it really, really hard to pay their bills.